The next morning, Orun returns to the dungeon entrance for the final stretch of the expedition and is immediately greeted by the children. Caroline decides to give Sophia a chance to speak with him, so she casually mentions that it would be nice if they received a reward after completing the expedition, then nudges Sophia to remind her about wanting to officially invite Orun to join their guild. But before Sophia can say anything, Selma suddenly calls Orun over. And as Orun walks towards Selma, he overhears several students discussing how the hero party plans to reach the deepest part of the dungeon that day, starting from floor 92. The news makes him stop. He cannot believe they would attempt something so dangerous, especially after replacing him with a new member only days ago and without any time to practice together. Anxiety sets in as he imagines how badly it could go, but he quickly reminds himself that it is no longer his responsibility. Meanwhile, the hero party arrives on the 92nd floor of the southern dungeon with their new recruit, Philly. 2 days earlier, she had been introduced to the group, and her CV says that she once reached the 100th floor of the western dungeon. Based on that alone, they assume she will easily help them do the same here. Annalie and Derek are especially confident, convinced that Philly's support magic will far surpass anything Orun ever provided. Both are particularly bitter about how Orun never allowed extravagant parties, despite the party's substantial funds. Hearing this, Philly grows uneasy, sensing that without Orun managing their finances, the two would have squandered everything. Oliver steps in and tells them to stop talking about Orun, reminding everyone that the day is meant to welcome Philly into the party. At that moment, Luna storms in after learning that Orun has joined the Silver Rabbits expedition. She is stunned to discover that the party has already replaced him without consulting her beforehand. She demands to know why Orun is now with another guild. Annalie and Derek are equally shocked that Orun managed to join such a high-profile group in only a few days, but they insist it changes nothing. He is no longer part of their team. Initially, Luna assumes Orun left because he felt burdened by the party. Derek corrects her, proudly stating that they were the ones who kicked him out. Luna is left speechless. She reminds them that Orun was the core of the party, and that they never would have progressed this far without him. The others refuse to accept this. Derek dismisses Orun as a permanently inferior enchanter, and insists there is no point in complaining now that he is gone. Luna dislikes it, but she knows she cannot convince Orun to return. She clenches her teeth and accepts the loss. The others interpret her silence as agreement. Emboldened, Oliver announces that he wants to test Philly's synergy with the party on floor 92 and, if successful, push onward to floor 94 to break their record. Luna immediately objects, pointing out that testing a new member on such a dangerous floor is reckless. She suggests using a safer floor, such as floor 30. Annalie and Derek admit it was close, but they insist Orun was the reason they struggled. With someone like Philly, they believe there will be no problems. Luna remains opposed, reminding them that a black dragon inhabits that floor. She has no desire to be incinerated. Oliver ignores her objections and makes it clear that the decision is final. Luna considers leaving but chooses to stay, unwilling to abandon the party yet, and her fears proved correct almost immediately. The party encounters a giant mammoth, an enemy they would normally defeat without effort. But this time, when Oliver strikes, his blade does no damage at all. Derek can barely block the mammoth's attacks, and Annalie's fire magic is little more than sparks. They quickly realize something is wrong. Their attacks are weaker despite having Philly's buffs. Philly struggles to maintain her enchantments, and her full concentration prevents her from analyzing the battlefield or giving instructions. The others are forced to make decisions themselves, a task they consistently fail at. Oliver finally realizes that the party is far weaker than he believed, though he does not understand why. Luna watches from the side, preparing to explain what went wrong when a terrifying roar echoes through the floor. The black dragon appears, crushing the mammoth instantly and knocking the party to the ground. Luna shouts for everyone to flee. Annalie and Derek believe they can still win. Oliver shares their misplaced confidence, assuming that because they defeated the dragon once before, they can do it again. Derek charges forward to block a fireball and is immediately blasted to the ground. Luna rushes to heal him, while Philly stands frozen in terror. Annalie, filled with regret, launches a fire javelin that leaves the dragon completely unfazed, drawing its attention and resulting in her being blasted back. Oliver panics as everything collapses around him. Luna shouts for him to focus and escape while they still can. He agrees, but the dragon begins charging another attack, and both Annalie and Derek are unconscious. Luna asks Oliver to buy her time while she heals them. Oliver orders Philly to snap out of it and cast every buff she can on him. She complies, and Oliver unleashes his ultimate attack. But his strike collides with the dragon's fireball and is completely negated, sending him flying. Despair overtakes him. Seeing no other option, Luna tells him to use the Fickle Gate, an emergency item that forcibly connects 2 dungeon floors at random, always leading to a boss room. Philly protests, pointing out the danger, but staying means certain death. Oliver activates the gate and lifts Annalie and Derek, but just as they prepare to escape, the dragon blocks their path with fire and charges forward, but passes through the gate instead. The party survives, but Luna immediately realizes the severity of what just happened. The dragon has been teleported to another random boss floor, putting countless adventurers at risk. Luna insists they return to the guild immediately and trigger an emergency force teleport for all adventurers. Although Oliver worries about the penalties they will face, he agrees that preventing casualties matters more. Luna heals Annalie and Derek and explains that after the evacuation, they will have to fight the dragon again. And when they do, Orun must replace Philly. She finally explains why the party feels weaker. Their strength has not declined. They simply relied too heavily on Orun. The power of support magic depends on the caster, while how long it lasts depends on the recipient's magic resistance. And because Oliver's resistance is extremely high, Philly's spells wore off quickly, something Orun always accounted for. Oliver argues that Philly has more talent, but Luna explains that Orun compensated for his lack of talent by creating original magic spells, a feat so rare it shocks everyone. She says Orun's base enchantments were weaker than average, but his original spell amplified their effectiveness 50-fold. Oliver always relied on those buffs to reduce how much energy his attacks required, and Annalie did the same. Even their equipment was enhanced by his spells. Without realizing it, the entire party was dependent on Orun. They all come to understand the truth, except Oliver. His ego takes over, and he convinces himself that Orun had nothing to do with their past success.
And that is it for today. If you enjoyed this recap, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and feel free to write whatever you want in the comments section. Thank you for watching.